What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we finally got access to all of the moveset updates and all of the information for the next season. There's a lot of really nice changes that I'm actually very excited for in this next season, so I'm excited to go over them, and it'll be interesting to see how the meta is going to shake up, as you're going to see a lot of things got nerfed, quite a few things though also got buffed, especially things that used to be pretty good, that kind of got nerfed, and now I think maybe some things are going to get brought back again. You'll see, it's going to be very interesting. Let's dive right on into it here. So as we can see, this new season is going to start Tuesday, March 3rd. That's to be expected. That's when the old season was going to end anyway. So everything that you're going to see here is going to take into effect on March 3rd. So just a couple of days away. I guess just about a week at this point. So it's coming up pretty soon here. We're going to see that all of the rewards and all the ranks are going to go back to the regular system. The interlude season will be no more. Rank 20 is going to be back to what it used to be. And after rank 20, your elo is going to matter. Ace, veteran, expert, legend, all of those are coming back. So that should hopefully give some more life here into the Go Battle League system. And down below here, we can see the schedule for the next season. We got metas like Kanto Cup coming back. Honestly, a lot of old returning metas, not a lot of new metas coming out in this season. It seems like a lot of the metas recently have just been kind of repeats of previous seasons. We see like Electric Cup, Fantasy Cup, Spring Cup, all of these things have been a thing in the past. The metas might be a little bit different thanks to moveset updates and stuff, but, I don't really see too many new things. Catch Cup's coming back here. That's great. I love Catch Cup. Oh, it comes back on my birthday. Beautiful. I love Catch Cup so much. And yeah, just classic. Nothing too crazy here. And this is actually kind of interesting, though, this next announcement, that every single Thursday, it's going to be like a mini Go Battle Day. It's not going to be like the regular Go Battle weekends where you get 20 sets a day. However, every single Thursday this season, you'll get 10 sets a day, which in my opinion is so much better than just having one weekend where you have more battles. It's going to spread them all out across the season, and it's going to be similar rewards to what you normally get during those Go Battle weekends, right? It's going to be 10 sets per day. You're going to have 4 times Stardust from rewards, and I mean, yeah, you can play 50 battles a day. That's pretty good. Honestly, that's more than enough for most of my uses that I'd ever want to do in PvP. So I'm really happy to see this coming here into this season here in just a couple of days. Let's see, what else are we going to see here? We see some extra rank up encounters, just some Pokemon that you can encounter in the Go Battle League here if you end up winning some battles. Nothing too crazy. Togetic's kind of cool. Togetic, actually, you're going to see here soon, got a pretty interesting update to it. But yeah, nothing too insane. No new Pokemon there that's, like, just absolutely unheard of for PvP. And yeah, just some more encounters here that you'll get while ranking up in PvP. Nothing too interesting. I think, yeah, Honedge will be shiny after the Kalos store, which is going to be kind of cool. Very cool shiny. One of my favorite Pokemon in the game. Let's see. More research and stuff. This is all filler. We don't need to worry about any of this stuff. This right here is where it gets interesting as well. The next pose, the next outfit is announced. It's gonna be modeled after Blue. If you have any idea who that is the rival from the very first generation of Pokemon. It's a pretty cool pose. It's a pretty lame outfit, honestly, in my opinion. I guess you can't really ask too much from a guy named Blue. He's wearing a blue shirt. But yeah, that's a new pose, new outfit, so, if you're looking forward to some avatar items inspired by none other than Blue, aka Gary Oak, aka, I don't know, the biggest rival in the Pokemon franchise, that's gonna be pretty cool here. And yeah, we get some more descriptions on the metas. You can pause the video if you want to, like, read through what these metas are going to be. I'm not going to go through all of them now. That'd be way too much. And honestly, I doubt I'm going to be playing a lot of these. I'll probably just be sticking with the open leagues a lot of the time here. Classic Catch Cup. Who doesn't love Catch Cup? And this is where we get into the meat of the update, right? What everyone always wants to see. The moveset updates. What moves are going to get buffed, nerfed, what moves are going to be added to different Pokemon's movesets. And we can see here, starting off with a very interesting change to a move, Low Kick. This is one of the worst moves in the game right now. Let me pull up the stats on it real quick. So here on pvpoke.com, I can zoom in a little bit so we can see it just a little bit better. We can see what all of the fighting type fast moves look like. So here we have Counter. Counter being a move that Annihilate uses. Honestly, not the best move in the game, but it's probably the best fighting type move right now just because it's the only one that we really see any play with. But we can see Low Kick. Where are you at? You're 4 damage, 5 energy. Counter is 8 damage, 6 energy. So basically, Counter is currently just way better than anything that Low Kick could ever possibly dream of being. Now let's go back to the update here for just a second. We see that the damage is going to be increased from 4 to 5, and its energy generation is also going to be increased. They don't give us the numbers. For some reason, they never give us the exact energy numbers, but we can kind of speculate on what that might be here. Let's take a look once again at the numbers. So the damage is going to be 5, which is going to be the same damage as Karate Chop. Karate Chop, I think, is probably still just going to be a strict upgrade to low kick. There's no way they're going to make low kick 9 energy. I think what they're going to do with low kick is make it like a Vine Whip quick attack kind of move. So 5 damage, 8 energy. If that's the case, then it could be kind of interesting. There are a lot of Pokemon that do get access here to low kick. We can take a look at all of the low kick users in Great League here in just a second. There's not a lot of good ones, right? Low kick is such a bad move, but, there's some Pokemon here already pretty good that do get access to this move, so depending on how strong this attack is, Annihilate might just get a better fast move, which honestly, big Annihilate hater here, you probably know this, but it's a Pokemon that might get buffed. But I mean, at least low kick would be less fast move pressure than counter, so maybe it wouldn't be quite as bad. Primate, Pangoro, Machoke, Grimmsnarl, interestingly enough, if I could speak, Kangaskhan, Pawmot, Electivire, a lot of interesting kind of picks. Gallade gets access to it. Machoke, I think we already saw Shadow Machoke a second ago. Chestnut's actually kind of a cool one here. Get a little bit more access to fighting type damage, potentially. That might help it out. Rapidash, that's interesting. There's actually quite a few users of low kick. Hawlucha is actually really interesting, I think, with low kick, though, because it has access to one of the best moves in the game, Flying Press. It's going to have a much better pacing with low kick if it is like a Vine Whip clone, and it has access to Aerial Ace, not the best flying type move in the game, but also X-Scissor potentially, which is a pretty good attack on its own. So I think Hawlucha might actually have a little bit of play in the next season. Let's see, Lopunny, Rapidash, the regular one, so I guess the horses are getting low kick buffed. Embor, Girder, man, there's a lot of low kick users, jeez. There's too many to really go over right now and like go over every single one of these, but you can see, if this move is good, there's a lot of things that could potentially benefit from this, so I'm excited to see what exactly is going to come out on top with this. I think the big ones to watch out for, potentially Hawlucha, because that's a flying and fighting type Pokemon, very unique typing. Chestnut might be kind of cool, and then of course Annihilate, we'll have to see how that Pokemon's going to go with that new update. So that's low kick getting buffed. That's just the first update. We see another one that I'm so happy about. I'm so happy that Mudshot's getting reworked here. It's just going to go back to what it used to be. They're not making it so it's going to be like a Thundershock clone, where Thundershock has 4 damage and 9 energy per turn, or per fast move, that is. It's going to be 3 damage and 9 energy per fast move, which is what Psycho Cut used to be. You can see Psycho Cut's going to get buffed. I'll talk about that in just a second as well. Very excited about the Psycho Cut buff. But Mudshot is going to just go back to what it used to be back in the day. If you ever used to play Swampert or Stunfisk, the Galarian Stunfisk, I should say, or like Whiscash, Shadow Quagsire, those Pokemon all had access to a very spammy fast move with Mudshot. I think Swampert is going to benefit so well from this. It has Sludge's coverage. It's going to be so spammy. And I mean, we love Quagsire on the channel. Quagsire, one of my favorite Pokemon as well. Let's take a look at the Mudshot users just so we can kind of get an idea of like if there's any interesting picks here as well that we're forgetting. I know like Clodsire gets it, Diggersby gets it as well, right? Toadscruel gets it, so maybe if you want to go more energy focused, that could be kind of cool. Swalot, I don't know if that would be good, but Swalot does get access to it here. Greedent gonna go back to its insane spammy ways. Honestly, Greedent after Body Slam getting buffed again, that could be kind of an interesting pick. Yeah, Swampert, I think the Mud Boys in general are going to benefit so much from this. I guess Toxicroak has access to Mudshot, but it has so many fast moves, I don't know if that's going to matter. Politoed, that used to be a pretty good one. I mean, Weather Ball's been buffed since Mudshot got nerfed, so maybe Politoed could come back. Let's see, Sandslash again, Poliwrath with Mudshot if you want to run a bit more of a spammy charge attack focused Poliwrath, that could be kind of cool. Doug Trio, there's a lot of Pokemon here, as you can see with Mudshot. A lot of them right now using Mud Slap, but potentially, as you're going to see, you might want to switch over to Mudshot here. Garganackle, kind of unique. Mousehold, Poliwhirl, yeah, we're kind of getting to some pretty bad Pokemon here. Flygon gets it, I suppose that's kind of cool as well. But yeah, I mean, I think mainly a lot of Mudboy is going to come back, and it's going to be a lot of ground types that aren't fast move focused, and I'm so happy about that. I think one of the biggest problems in Pokemon Go recently has just been the raw focus on fast move pressure, and because we're going to be focusing more on charging up energy with moves like Low Kick and Mudshot and Psycho Cut here, I think it's going to be pretty healthy. So yeah, Psycho Cut, as I was saying, it also got buffed. There's not a lot of Pokemon with Psycho Cut, right? We can take a look at what the Psycho Cut users are. The big one that I am so happy about, you might be able to see it right behind me here. Medicham obviously uses Psycho Cut. I don't know exactly how good it's going to be. Malamar has Psycho Cut. I don't think that anything that has Psywave would ever run Psycho Cut, because I think Psywave is just such a good attack. Doublade gets it. Cresselia, potentially kind of cool. Aegislash gets it, but don't worry, Aegislash doesn't really use Psycho Cut, it uses charging, so probably not a really big buff for Aegislash. But yeah, Medicham. We saw Medicham in the LAIC meta have a little bit of play recently, so maybe having an actual good fast move here could be good for Medicham. The only problem is you are still a fighting type that is so just destroyed by fairies and ghosts. You don't have any good coverage for that. I was kind of hoping that maybe one day they'd give Medicham Shadow Ball or something. That might be overkill. I guess I'm like the Medicham enthusiast. I might be the only one who wants Medicham to be buffed. But I mean, if Medicham's going to be good, I want it to be good and flexible. So not having access to have great ways to counteract fairy types or ghost types, even with the Psycho Cut buff, could hold it back a little bit. But I'm kind of interested to see where Medicham could go from here. I think it's going to be quite a bit better because the upgrade in damage, while it might not look like a lot here, it's way better than you'd think it would be, actually. When we ended up seeing, like, Eufisk, for example, get that damage increase with Thundershock, which is the exact same kind of buff that Psycho Cut's getting, the damage increase was actually kind of huge. It was very noticeable. So I think this is one of those updates that we're just going to have to get our hands on before we can really say how strong it's going to be. Now, we see a little bit of a rework here with Waterfall. It's going to have a bit of a damage decrease, but its energy generation is going to be increased. And this is very interesting. Let's take a look at what Waterfall is currently, because it is not a great move, right? Waterfall here, 12 damage, 8 energy. And I mean, it's going to be going down to 11 damage. I wonder what exactly they're going to do with this. There's a chance they could make it a Fire Spin clone at 11 damage, 10 energy. What is Charm currently? I hope they're not, like, making it a Charm clone. No. Okay, Charm has way more damage. So, honestly, I think they might be making it a Fire Spin clone. If they make it a Fire Spin clone, there's actually a chance that Pokemon like Empoleon could potentially make use of this move. Let's take a look at Waterfall users. There's not a lot of them, honestly. Golisopod, Kingdra for Alligator. Okay, there's a couple. Seeking actually gets a Stab Fast move for once. Okay. I don't know how many of these Pokemon would actually want to use Waterfall, though, because if it is a Fire Spin clone, I mean, how many Pokemon do we see right now using Fire Spin? There's almost none of them. That might just be because Incinerate and Emperor are really good options as well, and there really aren't a lot of good Water-type fast moves, so maybe you'd want to go with Waterfall on some of these Pokemon. Walrein gets it, that's kind of cool, I guess. It really depends, though, on, like, what they actually make this move. I think it's going to be a Fire Spin clone. I would not be surprised if that's the case, and if that is the case, then hopefully that's going to open up a lot more room in the Water-type category for Pokemon that are actually doing Water-type things. A lot of Water-types right now have to rely on non-stab fast moves, you know, like Dragon Breath on Gyarados, or Mudshot on Whiscash, things like that. We might actually get some Water-type damage in the meta that's not just like Water Gun Lantern every now and then, which I think is going to be at least interesting to see how it's going to go. But again, since we don't have the exact energy that this move's going to be, we don't know for sure what it's going to be like, but Waterfall, honestly, I do like this update. I think that it does benefit from having more energy, and it's not the biggest damage decrease that we could see here. Now, Wing Attack, yes, this one is huge. I don't know why they nerfed Wing Attack in the first place. This move it wasn't even good back when they nerfed it. It was only good because, I mean, there weren't a lot of, options for flying types back in the day. We have a lot of flying types on the meta now. Peck is obviously a move that is very strong as a fast attack. There's a lot of flying type Pokemon that we have here. But the funny thing is, if we look at Peck, can I do, like, Peck, Wing Attack? Oh, I can. That's fancy. We can just take a look at these moves side by side, and we can just get a complete overview of how bad Wing Attack is. Wing Attack is literally Peck currently, like, these are the old stats, right? Peck is 6 damage and 8 energy per Peck. Wing Attack is 5 damage and 7 energy, which means that it's just 1 less damage and 1 less energy every time you throw a Wing Attack. But with this new update, it's going to be 5 damage, 8 energy, which is good. It's going to mean that now it's going to at least keep pace with Peck, although the fast move pressure is not going to be quite as strong as Peck currently is. But the good news about that is it's probably a good thing that they're not making it that strong, because there's some really good Pokemon that get access to Wing Attack, right? A lot of Pokemon that used to have it, that used to be really good. Gligar is a big one that used to be really good. The problem is, man, like, They've taken everything from Gligar. Not only have they nerfed Wing Attack in the past, they nerfed Aerial Ace, they nerfed Dig, they're gonna nerf Night Slash. I'll talk about that soon. So even Night Slash is getting nerfed. So yeah, it's getting Wing Attack back, but like, They're taking everything from Gligar still, so I don't know if that's going to come back as much. But Galarian Moltres, that it would have an option of running Wing Attack. I think Sucker Punch is still a much better move. Gliscor, both Shadow and Non-Shadow, that is getting another update. I'll go over that in just a little bit. Bombirdier, another Sucker Punch user. Charizard, Shadow Charizard used to be such a menace when it had Wing Attack. I think it might come back a little bit here. We'll have to see, though. Ember might be the better play, but I really like the Flying-type Fast Food Pressure more than Ember in general on Charizard. So I think I might suggest going with Ember instead, but I think, or with, rather, Wing Attack over Ember, but isn't, yeah, Wing Attack is Legacy. Charizard's such an annoying Pokemon. It has, like, 3 Legacy fast moves here. But that's, that's future us problem, I guess. Flamigo gets it. That's cool. Flamigo, a very unique flying and fighting type Pokemon. Pelipper. Okay, I love Pelipper. I'm so excited to see if this Pokemon's actually going to be any good here in the new season. Weather Ball got buffed. The one thing that Pelipper is still not going to have going for it doesn't have a great nuke move, right? Hurricane is a pretty efficient attack, but it is so expensive. It is going to take so long to reach. I think the counts, was it like 9-8? For Hurricane when you're on the buffed wing attack here. But either way, it's such a slow Pokemon, but I don't care. I love Pelipper. I'm going to be excited to see that Pokemon come back. I think it was such a fun Pokemon back in the day. And Mantine, honestly, Mantine might come back a little bit too. It's another water and flying type Pokemon. It got access here to, actually, it was Water Pulse. Water Pulse might have been buffed back in the day. I don't remember exactly if it ever ran Water Pulse. It's been a while. Although I guess with Aerial Ace being nerfed, it's not going to have a great bait move. So maybe Mantine's still going to be on the sidelines. But the other big one here is going to be Noctowl. This Pokemon is going to be interesting, to say the least. I don't know why it says that you're going to run Shadow Ball here. I would assume that you're going to be forced into running Nightshade to have a little bit of a cheaper attack, right? You want that 45 energy move. So you're going to be on 50 energy Sky Attack, 45 energy Nightshade. So the pacing's going to be pretty similar to when it was back in the day when Sky Attack was 45 energy. I think Noctowl has a chance of being good right now in the new season. Although it's still going to be a little bit slow, and it's still going to have just, like, kind of inefficient attacks, because Sky Attack is not great. Like, it's an alright attack, right? It's nothing bad, nothing wrong with it, but it's not the most efficient attack in the game. And Nightshade, pretty decent, but it's also, I don't know, maybe, I guess maybe that's why Shadow Ball is pretty highly recommended, because that is a very efficient attack. But I mean, you really want the pacing too. You could maybe run double Ghost type moves, but Noctowl could potentially be coming back. It might just still be a little bit too slow, but it is so bulky as far as flying type Pokemon go. It could potentially fill a very unique role. Let's get back to the moveset updates here. We're going to see Drain Punch. This move was added to like 20 different Pokemon a couple moveset updates ago. Let me see. What learns Drain Punch now? It's getting doubled in damage, right? Going from 20 damage to 40. And, I mean, a couple of pretty good Pokemon learn it. Quagsire, who's getting that Mudshot rework, is going to have access to it. With that said, I think 40 damage is still not worth justifying. I think Quagsire is still just going to run Aqua Tail Stonehenge. But Sableye, I mean, we know how strong fighting plus Ghost-type coverage can be. The only issue is Sableye has so many good moves anyway right now that I don't know if you'd really want to run Drain Punch, but we have to keep in mind, Drain Punch, it's not just a damaging attack, right? In fact, it's not really a damaging attack in the first place. The main effect of Drain Punch is that it raises your defense every time you throw it. And how much energy is Drain Punch? Is that 35 energy? Or is it 40? Okay, it is 40, so it's straight 5s to a Drain Punch, which, I mean, that's pretty good pacing. I will have to see how much damage this move's gonna do. Like, for example, I guess I can't check this out just yet. Like, if a super effective Drain Punch does similar damage to a Foul Play against, like, a normal type Pokemon, then I could see Drain Punch maybe being an interesting idea, just to have some more utility on Sableye, but I don't know if you'd really want to sacrifice the coverage on almost any Pokemon that has access to it. I did not realize Toxicroak got Drain Punch. Gengar gets it. I mean, I think Gengar has way too many good moves in the first place. Beware, obviously, the original Drain Punch user. In fact, Beware, fun fact, had a glitch for a day or two where it had Drain Punch as a fast attack. Don't even ask me how that worked, but let's just say it was remarkably broken. Slowbro, Mienfoo. I don't really know if anything's gonna truly take advantage of the Drain Punch buff. But, like, it's good that they're buffing it, because it was so remarkably bad. There's probably situations, though, in limited metas where Drain Punch here could be a good play, so I'm happy to see that they are addressing this move. And speaking of moves that absolutely need to be addressed, Heat Wave has been such a bad attack for so long now. let's take a look at what Heat Wave is. We can take a look at the charge attacks here. Heat Wave, currently, these are the old stats. 95 damage, 75 energy. That is one of the worst nuke moves in the game. 75 energy is absolutely insane. Now, let's see. What are the updates going to be? It's going to be going down to 75 power. So it's going to be a lot of damage is going to be taken away from it, but its energy cost is also going to be decreased. So what kind of moves could we be expecting this to be like? Let's take a look at moves that are currently 75 power. What do we have right now? A lot of 80 power moves. Okay, 75 power. We got, oh, kind of a wide variety of attacks, actually. We have Psychic, which is a move they have got to buff someday. Psychic does not deserve to be this bad. We have Rock Slide, though. Rock Slide and Surf. Imagine that, Fire-type Rock Slide clone. I'm kind of here for it, honestly. It could be a Shadow Sneak clone as well, which isn't a terrible move, necessarily. Could be a Signal Beam clone. I don't think it's going to be, though. Yeah, so I think it's most likely going to be a Surf clone, but it could be like a Sky Attack clone, potentially, too. I'm really hoping they make it a Surf clone, because there's not a lot of Pokemon that realistically learn Heat Wave right now. Yeah, Heat Wave, very small distribution pool. And basically only on Fire types, and then a few Flying type Pokemon as well. As far as I can tell here, I don't think anything... Wait, Magcargo gets Heat Wave? How did I not know this? Huh. I guess if it's 45 energy, that'd be like a new, really cheap attack from Magcargo. That'd be kind of funny, I guess. But yeah, I don't think that a 45 energy Heat Wave would be game-breaking at all. 50 energy Heat Wave would just be useless, right? So I hope they go 45 energy. I feel like that would be a really good update. And again, I'm happy that they're kind of taking a look at some of these lesser used attacks. Next up, we have Sandtomb, just straight up getting a damage buff here. Sandtomb, a very bad move currently, although there are a few Pokemon that kind of are forced into using it. At least there's one Pokemon that kind of uses it. Obviously, we're talking about Fortress, right? It's going to go up 15 full power, which I guess is good. That's going to make it 40 power, 40 energy, I believe, which... I mean, that's not great, but I mean, saying you still get that guaranteed defense drop, I feel like Sandtomb might be able to be at least somewhat, usable? Somewhat, it's not going to do, like, 0 damage when it's super effective. Let me make sure that I'm not missing out on any Pokemon that gets Sandtomb here. That could be kind of good. I guess Runerigus gets it. Fortress, obviously, the best user of it. Gliscor, okay, we have that Wing Attack buff, so maybe Wing Attack plus Sandtomb could be an interesting play. Torterra, don't necessarily love to see a Mud Slapper getting a buff to its debuff degen potential, although you'll see why I'm not as upset about that here soon. Crocodile gets Sandtomb? Man, I'm learning a lot of new things thanks to this update. I did not know that. I knew it got Brick Break. I guess I didn't realize Sandtomb was on that moveset too. Flygon gets it. Nidoking, honestly, Nidoking needs some love. It's never been good. Nidoqueen's had its time in the spotlight. Nidoking, though, never quite as good. And then Pineco, yeah, all these real winners at the bottom. So I don't think that's going to be like a real game-breaking update here, getting Sandtomb to be just a little bit better. It might just make it so Fortress could be swapping over more to Sandtomb more than anything, especially Bug Bite Fortress. I bet Volt Switch, you probably still want Earthquake, but Bug Bite Fortress, probably Sandtomb would be at least a much more realistic move to have as like a good bait coverage attack. And that's good, I think. I think that's not a bad thing. Twister getting a bit of a rework as well. Now, this is going to be interesting. It's going all the way up to 70 power. It is currently 45 energy, 45 damage, but it's going up to 70 damage and getting an energy cost decrease. So this move is going to be so efficient now. But the big question is going to be, is this move going to be 40 energy or 35 energy? If it's 40 energy, then a lot of Dragon types are not going to be able to benefit from this attack. Mainly because when you're thinking about the Dragon type fast moves, right, we have moves like Dragon Tail, and especially Dragon Tail would be really clunky with a 40 energy attack. But with a 35 energy Twister, it would be only 3 Dragon Tails to reach that first attack. And since there's not a lot of good Pokemon that get Twister, I don't know if that would be broken. I know that 70 damage, that right there, if it's 70 and 35, that would be a Leaf Blade clone. And that is kind of ridiculous. Leaf Blade is a very good move that has very small distribution to make up for it. But Twister, also an attack with very low distribution. Let me see. Twister right here. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple Pokemon that learn it. We have, like, Gyarados, Fearow, I guess, learns Twister? Huh. Shelgon, and then, like, a lot of really bad Pokemon. They're gonna add it to a couple Pokemon's movesets. I'll go over the additions to movesets as well here soon. But, like, I don't think any of these Pokemon would just be broken if they had access to a Leaf Blade version of Twister. It's a dragon type attack, right? Doesn't have a lot of things that it is type effective into. If Twister is 40 energy, it's still very strong. That's like a Psyshock or a Sludge clone. But I am personally kind of rooting for 35 energy Twister. We'll see. I guess, that's the main thing about this is we don't know about the energy until it's released. But yeah, I'm excited to see where that's going to go. Volt Tackle. I think that's Pikachu's, like, one of the Pikachu exclusive moves. Getting an energy cost decrease for some reason. I guess it's for, like, I don't know, the 30-year anniversary. They're buffing Pikachu. What is Volt Tackle? I have never looked into this move in my life. Um, is it even in the game? I guess it is. Yeah, wait, what are they doing to it? They're making it cheaper. I guess that's good. It's not even that good right now, so fair enough, I suppose. I didn't even know this move was in the game. It's not gonna matter, though. It's not gonna do anything. Okay, big one. We got some big ones coming up here. Oh, you can just... Oh, look at this. Okay, Mud Bomb, don't look at that. I don't know why they're nerfing that. But look at these three. Bullet Punch, getting nerfed. Mud Slap, getting nerfed. Smackdown, getting nerfed. Three of the most annoying fast moves in the game, all getting nerfed. Bullet Punch, obviously, Shadow Caesar is the biggest culprit to making this move feel so broken. Mud Slap is a move that on Marowak, on Gastrodon, on so many of these really annoying ground-type Pokemon, even Torterra and Toedscruel, right? They just have so much fast move pressure here. It makes it so hard to deal with if you're not a really bulky Pokemon or if you don't resist that ground-type damage. In Smackdown, that is a targeted Bastiodon nerf. There is not really any other Pokemon in the game that utilizes Smackdown, so I'm so glad to see Smackdown getting nerfed. Mud Slap, I think it's still going to be a very usable attack. It's going to be a Fire Spin clone now, and Bullet Punch is going to be a Poison Jab clone. Poison Jab's not a bad attack. I think that Shadow Caesar is not dead on arrival after this new moveset update, although it is definitely going to be a little bit less useful, not having quite as much fast move pressure. It's going to be harder to completely two-shield degen through things, but that's a good thing. We don't want that. Fast move pressure eliminates decision-making, and, I mean, decision-making is the whole point of Pokemon Go PvP, so if there's less fast move pressure, there's more decisions to be made. I think this is very good to see all three of these attacks nerfed. Now we see an interesting change here to Mud Bomb. Also, Night Slash is getting nerfed. Love to see that. We'll talk about that in a second. Mud Bomb is going to be, I would imagine, 5 more energy and 5 more power, so I guess they're just nerfing Whiscash, basically, I think, with this. Ufisk is going to be hit a little bit as well, making it so it's a 45 energy attack. It's going to be slightly less spammy as a ground-type attack. But I guess that's the trade-off we take for the Mud Shot buff. I feel like Whiscash would have been fine with 40 energy Mud Bomb, but, I'm not on the meta team. I don't get to make these decisions, so I guess Mud Bomb is getting nerfed. Whatever, I don't care. I'm happy with a lot of these changes anyway. And then 2 more big nerfs, right? Night Slash, the user's attack increase has been lowered. What this means is it has a 1 in 8 boost chance, right? Every time you throw a Night Slash, there's a 1 in 8 chance currently that you get a double attack boost, which is a 50% damage increase to your attack, which is ridiculous. It's stupid and dumb, and I love that they're changing it, so now it's only going to be a +1 attack. I think that is so much more manageable. If a Shadow Caesar boosts on you, now it's going to only do 25% more damage, which, while that is really strong still, it's going to be way more manageable than that double attack boost that basically instantly can win a game on the spot. So very nice to see this. So that attack boost going from a +2 attack boost, 1 in 8 chance, to a +1 attack boost, still 1 in 8 chance though for that boost to happen. And Rock Tomb, very slight adjustment to the move. Honestly, I'm kind of happy they're not completely nerfing Rock Tomb into the ground. I'm actually surprised I just said that, but I think I do agree with it. I don't think Rock Tomb rather really deserves to completely go out of the meta, but I think the damage is kind of crazy for all of the utility it has, so a slight slap on the wrist is not the end of the world, especially because we don't see a lot of Rock Tomb users right now. I mean, Cradily is nowhere near as common as it used to be. Spiritomb is a Pokemon that gets it, that kind of did just dominate the EUIC meta, but I mean, at this point, I feel like Rock Tomb is not completely broken and insurmountable, so I think I'm fine with this. And up next, we have some really cool changes to movesets here. Gliscor, learning acrobatics. Keep in mind they're also buffing wing attack as well as Sand Tomb. And potentially, this could be kind of a cool flying type Pokemon here. I don't know if Gliscor is really going to be that good because obviously Sand Tomb is not the best move in the game. It could be very bait and nuke reliant potentially with Sand Tomb plus acrobatics, but I mean, it's going to be viable. It's a Pokemon that definitely can make some stuff happen. It's not going to be completely unplayable like it is now, so I'm happy to see Gliscor having that. I guess you could also run Night Slash, but Night Slash, as we saw, is getting nerfed, so I don't know. We'll see what the moveset's going to be, but Gliscor, kind of cool to see that getting some love here. Regular Cantonian Moltres getting Fly. Alright, it still sucks. Scolipede learning Aqua Tail. I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, I don't hate it, I guess. It's going to be spammier. It's going to have a nice coverage move against the Rock and Fire type Pokemon. But I don't know if Scolipede really has what it takes to compete right now. I just don't see that changing much. Volcanion with Scald. Do you guys have a Great League Volcanion? I know it's possible to have one. Does Scald even help it? I don't think so. Heracross learning Fury Cutter, so now it's going to have a real fast type move, not going to have to rely on counter anymore. Heracross, what is the Heracross moveset currently? I believe this might be a bit of a spoiler in the moveset update here. I think they're also adding Rock Tomb to its moveset, which is getting nerfed, but also is still a pretty efficient attack. Looks like it has Upper Hand, so it's going to be like Fury Cutter, Upper Hand, Rock Tomb. And its stats, okay, it's pretty squishy, 134 attack, but maybe it could work, actually. That's kind of cool. Pidgeot getting access to the newly reworked Heat Wave. I'm hoping this is a Surf clone. If it is, that's honestly really welcomed coverage for Pidgeot because currently it's on mono flying type damage. So having access to both the wing attack buff as well as Heat Wave could give it a bit more flexibility and a bit more consistency than it currently has with like its current Gust, Air Cutter, Brave Bird moveset. So happy to see Pidgeot has another option, although people might just run like Feather Dance Heat Wave or something completely degen, and maybe that's not going to be great. Zapdos gets Heat Wave. That's kind of cool, I guess, for those of you who like using some spice. Zapdos is going to have a little bit better coverage. Togetic gets Heat Wave. I love this, actually. I think Togetic could make some really nice work out of this move. It is still going to be a little bit bad into like the ice types, but the steel types are going to be so much more playable for Togetic now that you have access to this attack. It's going to be interesting, though. Togetic is kind of bulky. It's a Fairy Wind user. If it is 45 energy to a Heat Wave, that's only 5 Fairy Winds, so might actually be pretty good. I think Fire-type coverage on Togetic is pretty smart. I like that update quite a bit, actually. Camerupt with Scorching Sands. Okay, I don't think that's changing anything. Camerupt is not going to be meta. Rotom with Leaf Storm makes a lot of sense. I don't know why it didn't currently have it. That's just like its signature move. All the Rotom forms are supposed to have like their type effective nuke attacks. Good to see that, but it's probably still bad. Articuno with Powder Snow. So yeah, Powder Snow and Icy Wind, a pretty interesting and deadly combination we don't really see often, but Articuno's still an ice and flying type Pokemon, so pretty bad defensive typing. But I do like to see a little bit of Articuno love. I guess all the Kanto birds here got updates, so kind of cool, I guess. Heracross with Rock Tomb, we talked about that. I think that's a good change. Might as well give Heracross a little bit of love. I honestly like Heracross as like a design. It's really cool. Camerupt here with Rock Tomb as well. So you're getting Scorching Sands and Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb has a chance of being helpful for Camerupt's moveset, but I don't know exactly. I'm not going to put my money on it just yet. Marshadow with Shadow Claw. I actually saw some people, some like Master League specialists talking about how this is actually going to be really strong. I'm not the biggest Master League guy myself. I don't even have a Master League Marshadow. I haven't bottle capped it. I don't have the XL candies, but if you have one, look into this change. I think Marshadow is going to be pretty strong now in Master League. And then we got a bit of a funny change. Every single Wormadam form is getting access to Sucker Punch. My first question is, where are their hands? How are they sucker punching anything? My second question is, why don't they have a bait move? They're so slow to getting to charge attacks. So I don't think Wormadam's going to be super useful, at least not in Open Great League, but maybe in limited formats, or potentially down the line. If they do give it a cheaper attack, I mean, Sucker Punch is a really good move, so I wouldn't count them completely out. But I don't think it's going to make any big changes until maybe a further update down the line. Flygon getting access to Twister. Again, that's going to be pretty dependent on what Twister is going to be. If Twister is that Leaf Blade clone, Flygon, unironically, could be a pretty good Pokemon. My sister's gonna be happy to hear that. If it's 40 energy, honestly, the pacing is still pretty clunky. Although I guess you could run like Mudshot Flygon, but then you're a dragon that loses to all other dragons. I don't know if that's very smart. Garchomp as well, getting access to Twister, very similar Pokemon to Flygon. So I think it's just the same story there, right? And that is the end of the moveset update. So honestly, I'm pretty happy with basically everything that I've seen here. They nerfed a lot of the things I wanted to see nerfed. Honestly, the only thing that didn't get nerfed that I would have liked to see would probably be I guess Wigglytuff, right? Wigglytuff is still a thing. But honestly, Wigglytuff, I was gonna say it's fine. It's not fine, but it's workable. We can dance around it. Although they did nerf Bullet Punch, so maybe Wigglytuff is safer with less Shadow Scizor. Same with less Basties. So we'll have to see how we're gonna start dealing with Charm. I suppose Empoleon's probably still gonna be very good in this new season. I think overall, though, very good update. I'm excited to see how the meta is going to shake up. Medicham might be coming back. Who's to say? Noctowl could be kind of good. The Mud Boys, we're going to get a big rework on what ground types are going to look like. Less Mud Slappers, more Mud Shot users. So through and through, very good update in my opinion. I'm excited for this next season. Let me know in the comments, which one of these updates are you excited for? Is there anything you wish you would have seen in this update that we have not seen? I mean, at this point, I myself am pretty content in this update. I'm excited to see how this meta is going to shake out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.